I had no spirituality, no religion in my life. And, mom's getting older and she convinced me to go to Easter Mass. And all of a sudden, like from 0 to 100, all this crazy stuff happened. And now this voice is screaming in my head afterwards. And of course, if there's a voice in your head, you need to check in with your doctor because it could be schizophrenia or an infection causing hallucinations. But what I'm talking about is true possession cases. We look at that and consider all those things. So they are happy as long as that person is not moving towards God, not thinking about God, not praying, not doing religious things, not going to Mass. They will lay low. Why? Because they're winning. That their goal is to separate us from God so that we are damned and end up in hell. That's their goal. Their goal is not to kill us. That just sends us to our judgment. The goal is damnation.
Separate us.
And if you're completely ignoring God in your life, they're winning. So why would they want you to know that they're there? They wouldn't, because
right.
Then you go running into a church saying, somebody help me. So the last thing they want is for you to know that they're there. Now, I'm not saying that, there's tons of people out there possessed that don't know it. I know there's a few because, we get a few cases every year. And a lot of them, we can trace it back afterwards and see where the problem started. So yeah, the enemy is happy for you to kind of, be distracted by the world for the rest of your life. And what are the 3 stages? The classical 3 stages of the Christian life is defeat the flesh, defeat the world, and defeat the devil. So, many saints and many people manage to defeat the sins of the flesh and the desire for just concupiscence, for, selfish pleasure. Not as many defeat the world, which is seeking the adoration of others, seeking attention, seeking money, the illusion of permanence and importance and happiness, which it always fails in the end. And then the third one, defeating the devil, not everybody gets to that stage where the challenge is now unveiled, kind of like Jesus went in the desert for 40 days and then was tempted by the devil face to face. Not many people get to that stage. And Padre Pio was at that stage, right? Because he was experiencing direct confrontations with the demonic because he was at that very advanced spiritual stage.
Right. So, Adam, let me ask you a question, and maybe hold it and answer this after the break, because we got to send it back to Keith in about a minute for some important announcements for Morning Joy. But why do you think people give up on their goals? Why do you think they give up on life? I noticed that recently in the coaching work that we do, the ministry work, the outreach ministry work. And by the way, you can find us, always get a free consultation at standtalltoday.com. I share that because a lot of people don't know what coaching is. And we really are very specialized coaches. And we really want to help people along this journey so they can have their best life. But why do you think people give up? Sometimes it seems as though people are just like, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I don't even want to try anymore.
Okay, so we're talking about goals, and goals are really helpful for us human beings. They help get us motivated and hopefully keep us motivated so we can actually get a task finished. Now, why might people commonly give up midway? Okay, I was going to write the great American novel, or I was going to learn how to play guitar. Like, how many people have guitars in the corner of their room that they've said for decades they were going to pick it up one day and learn how to play it? Why might this be? First off, there's part of life which in psychology, the way I heard it phrased, and I've always liked this, it wasn't my phrase, it was one of my professors, it's freedom within limitations. So when you're 18 and about to go away to college, you have lots of options, you have lots of possibilities, different colleges, different degree programs that you might pursue that could lead to, degrees that open the door for certain jobs. You might be thinking graduate school, you might be thinking medical school, you might be thinking, going to law school. So sometimes people give up because they say, well, I'm now older, I have less energy, maybe I've got kids, I no longer have the financial resources. They're tied up with other things in life, and going to this schooling would be expensive. Say they wanted to pick up some specialized schooling. So freedom within limitations, that will change through life. And there comes a point where, and this is the big one, you have to make decisions. There's only so many hours in the day, right? There's only so much energy that you have. But here's the thing that you can be empowered by, Deb. And that is, you can really take a look at, what have I chosen to give my resources to? My time, my energy, my attention, my love, my affection, consideration, whatever you want to call it. I've made choices, whether I've really, thought it through clearly or not. I really have. I've made those choices. I need to be responsible for that. And maybe look at the things that I've said yes to that are tying up some of my time and my energy, because I now feel so drained that I'm giving up on things left and right.